opened the East Stand when it was built at about 2 weeks' notice because they'd been let down. I can't remember who by.
Serving the community, working alongside extremely good professionals in the medical profession. And then there's my royal responsibilities, which I still...
They opened the East Stand when it was first constructed, with only about 2 weeks' notice, due to being let down, though I can't recall exactly by whom. As it turned out, my horse was lame at the time, so I wasn't competing that weekend. So I went along, and about a month later, they wrote to ask if I'd like to become a patron. Meanwhile, the royal family is in turmoil at Balmoral Castle. Prince William holds back tears as Princess Anne reads out King Charles's final wish, a shocking decision that could alter everything. There are whispers suggesting William may step up sooner than expected, and speculation about Catherine's future is spreading through the palace, causing rising tension. Will Camilla accept a potential loss of power? Can William honor his father's last wish while staying loyal to his own vision for the monarchy? Join us as we uncover what Princess Anne announced that made it nearly impossible for the prince to hold back his tears. The king's final wish. That warm summer afternoon, the air hung heavily over Balmoral Castle. The grand Scottish estate, with its towering stone walls and secluded stillness, had always been a royal sanctuary. But this time, it served as the stage for news that would shake the very foundation of the monarchy. One by one, black cars ascended the long driveway. Inside the castle, staff watched from the windows, murmuring among themselves. It was highly unusual for the entire royal family to be summoned so urgently. Even Princess Catherine, typically composed and smiling, appeared notably somber as she stepped out of her car. She carried news that would change the course of everything. Inside the meeting room, the family gathered around a vast oak table. Portraits of former kings and queens lined the walls, their expressions captured in time. The room was hushed as everyone took their seats, unsure of what was about to unfold. Princess Catherine stood, her hands faintly trembling. She had kept the secret for months, waiting for the right moment. Now, with every eye on her, she finally spoke. She revealed Queen Elizabeth II's final wish, a wish the late Queen had only shared with her closest confidants before her passing. The announcement was breathtaking. Queen Elizabeth had expressed her desire for Catherine to someday reign as Queen, not simply as King William's consort, but as a monarch in her own right. Gasps and hushed voices filled the room. This was a future no one had envisioned. Traditionally, the crown passed from king to son, or on rare occasions, to a daughter, but only if there was no male heir. We were committed to ensuring Kate felt fully welcomed into the family, someone recalled. William wasn't going to leave anything to chance. He adores the Middletons. Historically, any woman marrying into the royal family would take on the title of Queen Consort, standing beside the king but not ruling. Queen Elizabeth's final wish threatened to overturn that centuries-old custom. King Charles III, already struggling with health concerns, sat stunned. His mother's decision shook the foundation on which he had built his reign. The future he had so carefully prepared now seemed uncertain. His face paled as he tried to comprehend the implications for the monarchy. Queen Camilla remained silent, unmoving in her seat. She had spent years working to gain public acceptance, overcoming the shadows of past controversies. She had finally secured her place as Queen Consort. Yet this revelation suggested that even Queen Elizabeth had never regarded her role as final, merely a stepping stone until the crown passed to Catherine. The younger royals exchanged anxious glances. Prince William turned to his wife, his expression unreadable. Had she known this all along? Princess Anne, ever pragmatic, immediately considered the legal ramifications. Prince Edward and Sophie whispered quietly, trying to understand what this could mean for the monarchy's future. Outside the room, royal staff could hear voices rising and falling in tense conversation. The discussion continued for hours. Some supported the idea, pointing out how deeply the public admired Catherine. Others opposed it, fearing such a major shift could destabilize the institution. By evening, the family emerged from the room, visibly worn. No resolution had been reached. The revelation had sparked deep conflict and exposed fractures that would not heal easily. In the following days, quiet calls passed between royal residences. Lawyers and constitutional experts were consulted behind closed doors. The palace's press team prepared statements for every possible outcome, yet none were released. The Queen's final wish remained a closely held secret. Its impact, however, stretched beyond just Camilla and Catherine. From America, Prince Harry and Meghan watched the situation unfold, wondering how it might affect their children's place in the royal succession. Princess Beatrice and Eugenie also began to question what this meant for their own roles within the family. Even Lady Louise Windsor and James, who rarely found themselves in the public eye, were now part of the growing uncertainty. In London, life carried on as usual. People strolled past Buckingham Palace, took photos, and waved at passing royal vehicles. But beyond those iconic gates, few could sense the storm quietly building within. The royal family was facing a crisis, one that could permanently alter its future. At Balmoral, one thing became clear to everyone in the room: the monarchy would never be the same again. Queen Elizabeth's final wish had triggered a chain of events no one had foreseen. Now, the family stood at a crossroads, torn between upholding tradition and embracing inevitable change. The greatest threat to the crown wasn't coming from the outside, it was growing from within its own walls. As internal tensions deepened, a far greater concern loomed overhead: would King Charles live long enough to see his mother's final wish come true? The clock was ticking. Morning sunlight poured through the tall windows of Clarence House as King Charles released a carefully worded statement, citing medical advice and treatment. His hand trembled slightly as he reached for his pen. It was just enough to acknowledge the situation without revealing too much inside his body. Since his diagnosis, at 76 years old, daily routine, the king now faced a relentless enemy. One no royal title or legacy from Buckingham Palace. Cancer. The king has been diagnosed. The diagnosis had come in February 2024. Before the illness, Charles worked tirelessly with serious expressions by his state papers. The meeting was initially kept private, and appearing at the palace issued a carefully worded statement. Now, the famous red boxes containing official documents arrived less frequently. Publicly, his once busy schedule remained noticeable gaps. Privately, palace staff noticed other subtle changes too. One Thursday morning, once energetic and eager to talk about his initiatives, was off. From environmental conservation to urban begun to trigger concerning side effects, his engagements his doctors to act swiftly, conserving energy for what mattered. Royal plans changed without warning. The castle's halls, once filled with his brisk palisades and animated discussion schedules, had grown unusually quiet. The king was transported to the London clinic, long been kept private hospital favoured by the wealthy and powerful. Queen Elizabeth II, yet outside, never publicly spoke about her own medical challenges. Tourists posed for selfies near Buckingham Palace. When walking became visibly difficult to offices, the palace's updates remained vague. Few realized that in a quiet hospital room nearby, Charles took medical staff were working urgently to help rather than shielding his diagnosis from the public. He chose transparency. Charles returned to Clarence House and dined the exact Queen Camilla as though it were just announced his illness openly. But by the following morning, believed that honesty could inspire others to get checked. His visit to Birmingham was abruptly cancelled. Thousands of people scheduled screenings or checked their symptoms after hearing the news. Despite his health challenges, the king remained present for key moments. He appeared at Easter services, smiling at the crowds despite a noticeably thinner face. He visited a cancer treatment center alongside Queen Camilla, meeting with patients fighting the same illness. At an army barracks in Hampshire, he spoke with soldiers, making light-hearted jokes about being let out of his cage, his humor still intact even amid hardship. Throughout spring and into summer, his treatments continued. Some days were better than others. Palace staff learned to recognize the signs. If he selected a particular tie or requested a favorite meal, it usually meant he was feeling stronger. But if meetings were suddenly cancelled or the royal physician appeared unannounced, they knew he needed to rest. The king's illness added yet another layer of stress to a royal family already under immense pressure. Prince William, quietly but decisively, began shouldering more responsibility, while the world watched and waited. While worrying about his father's health, Princess Anne stepped in to attend royal events in his place, ensuring that the royal duties continued as scheduled. Even Prince Harry, despite their past tensions, kept in touch with his father and made sure to check on his well-being. As time passed, King Charles III remained on the throne, but behind the closed doors of palaces and royal estates across the UK, quiet preparations had begun for what the future might hold. As King Charles battles his health challenges, all eyes are turning to Prince William. How is he preparing for the future, one that seems to be arriving faster than anyone had expected? The weight of the crown is immense. Being the future king is not just about wielding power or enjoying privileges, it comes with monumental, unending responsibilities. Prince William, who is next in line for the throne, understands this more than anyone else. While his father, King Charles, focuses on his health, William's role within the royal family continues to grow stronger. The tasks that once seemed distant are now part of his daily life, and he is stepping up to handle them. William's entire life has been a preparation for this moment. Unlike previous heirs who followed rigid royal traditions, his upbringing has been a blend of tradition and real-world experience. He attended Eton and later studied at St. Andrews University, gaining a strong academic foundation. He also served as a search and rescue pilot in the Royal Air Force, a role that allowed him to make a tangible difference in people's lives. Throughout it all, William worked hard to build a life that wasn't solely defined by royal duties but also by being present for his family. These unique experiences have molded him into the leader he is today, someone who understands the gravity of responsibility but also values a balanced, normal life. As the future king, William has learned how to navigate royal challenges while staying connected to the world outside the palace. The pressure on William has only intensified. With his father's health declining, he has taken on more duties than ever before. He now regularly attends major state events, holds private meetings with government officials, and manages key royal responsibilities. His role as the Duke of Cornwall, an estate that funds numerous royal activities, is no longer just a ceremonial title. He is now making crucial decisions that affect both the monarchy's finances and its public image. This shift comes at a time when the royal family faces considerable changes. Public opinion has shifted, particularly among younger generations, who question the monarchy's relevance. William finds himself caught between honoring tradition and adapting to a modern world that demands transparency and connection. He has embraced this challenge, focusing on issues like mental health, climate change, and homelessness. Through his work on these matters, he is shaping a new vision of what a future king should represent. William faces constant scrutiny, with every move under close watch. People are quick to judge, either to praise or criticize him. His strained relationship with Prince Harry remains a hot topic, with the media constantly speculating about their relationship. Behind palace doors, William also carries the burden of uniting the family, balancing his growing responsibilities with the delicate dynamics of royal life. For years, Queen Camilla has a husband and father reshape her public image. Unlike past heirs who entered royal life with a complicated past, William makes time for Catherine and their 3 children. Balancing the demands of royal life figure by King Charles is no easy feat. One of his closest expectations grow, so do his full support. She embraced her role as Queen Consort. His approach demonstrates how the monarchy is evolving, as a key shifting toward a leadership style that feels more personal and connected to new information has raised doubts about behind the palace in the monarchy. Advisors and officials are aware of the Queen Elizabeth II's wishes has shaken the stability that Camilla the British monarchy has endured for centuries through careful planning and adaptation. Queen and William's training has ramped up in recent years to eventually assume a larger leadership role. This revelation has led to questions about Camilla's place within military operations, ensuring that his although Camilla holds the title of Queen, her position now seems less secure. William remains calm and focused. The British monarchy has always been built what is expected of him, and the immense responsibility he will eventually take on. The future of the monarchy depends on his ability to lead with confidence, recognizing her role as Charles' partner to adapt to changing her ruling power. People everywhere are paying information suggests that they are Elizabeth may have envisioned a different in history, one where Catherine could eventually ascend as Queen with more another challenge looms, not just as a supporting Camilla's role evolve in the face of this development has created tension between Camilla and Catherine, placing the royal family in a delicate position. Camilla had worked hard to overcome her earlier controversies. Years ago, her relationship with Charles was the subject of scandal, and the public struggled to accept her. Over time, however, she reinvented her image, took on charitable work, and became a steady and supportive figure beside the king. She earned her place as a trusted royal and was seen by many as a key advisor to Charles. But now, with the possibility of Catherine taking on a larger role in the future, Camilla's position is in question. The royal family is undergoing significant change. Since King Charles's ascension, he has focused on maintaining stability, with Camilla playing an important part in that effort. She has become a key figure who helps the king stay grounded, offering both personal and strategic support. Her presence at major royal events continues to highlight her importance, but the uncertainty surrounding her future is undeniable.